To be or not to be? That is the question when it comes to PC or Mac. The debate has raged since time immemorial in the 1980s, commercial against commercial, brother against brother. Many have been lost in this conflict.
You make me do this! Why do you make me do this?
But why? PCs are objectively better than Macs, so why is Apple the most profitable company on earth? Well, let's find out. The high school I attend, Assumption, is a haven for intellectuals and technology. Spare and religion class. Both target audiences for Mac and PC can be identified in Assumption during school hours, and although some are obvious, others are not so much. The target audience for Mac users are young, hip, spry, artistic individuals, commonly known as hipsters. These hipsters buy the most up-to-date fashionable products which have been advertised to give false promises such as Macs don't catch viruses or PC just bit off Apple.
But don't games give you viruses on PCs? Like, can't people hack you?
Sorry.
Which are laughably false. Apple products run on the operating system, or OS, known as OS X, which is based off the operating system platform Linux. What's Linux, you ask? It's a free operating system platform which Apple used to make OS X, yet they sell it for a profit.
That don't make no sense!
The current true Linux-based operating system is called Ubuntu, and it can be thought of as Apple's cousin, except for the fact that it remains free. Now, it may seem like Apple's ripping us off, and that's because they are. They just won't tell you they are because, profit. Apple has a long history of ripping people off, like when they were inspired by Xerox PARC's graphical interface, which they turned into the first Macintosh. Nonetheless, let's talk digits. How much is Apple really ripping us off? Well, the cheapest Macintosh I could find was the MacBook Air, starting at $1,100. When talking about Apple products, it seems no one is fazed by the price tag, but has nobody read the specs? 1.6 GHz i5 dual-core processor, 128 GB of storage, 4 GB of RAM, these are garbage. It's not the specs that are the selling point, nor is it the cost. So what makes Mac such a widely accepted option for a computer? Why would people buy it?
Inexpensive, and the OS is easier to use than Windows for some people. I don't find it that way, but I mean, they've got their benefits, but in my opinion, for gaming, PC is far superior.
Well, computers are expensive, and a laptop's a lot harder to make than a desktop, so how much does a PC laptop cost? The answer to that question is, on average, $700. The specs, however, do not reflect that price, unlike the MacBook Air. An HP notebook boasts a 2.2 GHz AMD quad-core processor, 1 TB of storage, and 8 GB of RAM. Yes, the average PC notebook with those specs goes for only $700, while the cheapest goes for $300. In fact, there's a whole web series called Scrapyard Wars in which people build the best $300 PC they can, and they build these PCs that run high-demand games on an average of 63 frames per second, which is impossible on a Mac. So why isn't Microsoft as popular as Apple? PCs have proven to be better than Mac in every case scenario, yet Apple remains the most profitable company on earth, earning $182.7 billion in revenue last year, while Microsoft earned only $86 billion in revenue.
MacBook Air, costing a total of $1,100, has a 1.6 GHz dual-core processor, 128 GB of storage, and 4 GB of RAM, while the competing HP laptop, worth $700, has 2.2 GHz quad-core processor, 1 TB of storage, and 8 GB of RAM. Now, which one would you go for?
HP.
Obviously, right? The specs are obviously superior. So why do you think people buy Mac?
Brand name. All brand name. It's Apple.
Thank you.
Now this is where the hipsters come back into play. Hipsters don't care about how well the computer performs or how cheap it is, just how well it goes with their scarf and pumpkin spice latte. Apple's brand name and aesthetically pleasing look is what sells. There is no other logical reason. The specs are horrendous, its operating system is no more advanced than Ubuntu or Windows, and that smooth desktop look is available on, again, Ubuntu. Its selling point is that it's sleek, light, and will complement a hipster's attire anywhere.
Out the computer science room with Macintoshes. Why did you make that choice over PC?
I chose a Mac over a PC because there are things you can do on a Mac that you can't necessarily do on a PC.
Alright. So do Macs get viruses at all?
They can get a virus, but they usually don't.
So why are Macs so popular?
Macs are popular, one, because of advertising, and
all the customizability with Windows and PCs is a lot higher than what I can do on a Mac.
But don't PCs get viruses, isn't that a thing?
That's a possibility with anything. You can get a virus on your TV. Anything with electronic hardware can get a virus.
So why do you think Macs are so popular if PCs aren't as scary as they sound?
I would love to tell you.
PCs are objectively better than Macs. Due to Apple's marketing strategy and occasionally ripping off other companies, Apple has climbed the corporate money-making ladder not on meritocratic values, but instead by riding on the backs of hipsters who care more about fashion than the quality of the product.